Anyone with a child with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, those parents have a real challenge trying to find the right medication. Health Specialist Leah Sarich joining us now with another option that's now available in our country.
Yeah, so this is exciting, especially when you're dealing with these kinds of complicated illnesses. You really want to have another option, as many options
makes sense,
as possible. So basically, we've got between 5 and 10% of children in Canada have ADHD. More common in boys than girls, about 3 times more common in boys than it is in girls.
Okay.
Yeah. So I spoke with neurologist Dr. Tamara Pringsheim about this, and she says, you know, really, when it comes to these kids, the first thing we want to do, though, before we even get to medication, is look at the environment that they're in. So we want to look at how things are going at home. We want to look at how things are going at school.
Well, I bet school's a big indicator.
Exactly, right? And see if they can make any modifications there. Start there. And once they do that, and if they still require treatment, then they look at medication. So it's the medication's kind of one of the last sort of resorts. So then when we get to medication, the first line treatment are the psychostimulants. So those are the ones like the Ritalin, the Adderall, that's been around for years. They work very well for most patients. So that's great. However, in about 20 to 25% of patients, Dr. Pringsheim says they don't really work as well as they should. So there's 2 things that could be going on there. Either they don't like the way they feel on these stimulants, or they're having intolerable side effects. So I said, okay, what does that mean? So what she's talking about in some patients is that if you've got, say, a really thin child, it's really, they have a tricky eating kind of habits, what these stimulants can do is reduce their appetite.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so that's thinner.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So that's not a good option for them. Or they also can sometimes, in some patients, lead to problems with sleeping. So if you've already got a child that's got sleeping problems, this may not be a good option for you.
It could amplify it,
exactly,
right? Yeah.
Exactly. But this is where this new medication comes in. So this could be a good option.
I look at it for ADHD as an additional option for children and families to take for management of their symptoms. So let's say that they could not tolerate the psychostimulant medications, or they've had an incomplete response. This is another medication they can turn to offer them some help.
Which is a nice thing to have, right?
No
It's
kidding.
really good to have another
Options
option.
are awesome.
Exactly. And the other thing to mention here is that if you also have a child with ADHD that has Tourette's syndrome, those do sometimes go together as well.
Oh, that's
So that's a really nice option if your child has Tourette's. So basically this medication is a 24-hour medication, so it's only taken once a day, which is kind of nice. It's actually been available in the U.S. since 2009, so it's got a nice efficacy profile. However, it's not a medication that you can go on and off of, like the stimulants.
You have to stay on it.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a continuous medication, so that might wig out some parents. That's something to keep in mind. And as with any medication, it does have side effects.
The most common side effect is sedation, so it can cause feelings of tiredness or sleepiness. So to try and manage that, I've been dosing the medication at bedtime, so that if they do experience some sleepiness, they're going to sleep anyways. So hopefully that sedation won't carry throughout the day. Some people, despite dosing at bedtime, have noticed some sleepiness, but it's the type of side effect that you tend to experience right away and that lessens over time.
Dosing at bedtime makes sense, right? They're already going down for a sleep.
Exactly. They're already going to sleep. And then the other thing to really note there is that the medication, those side effects will reduce the longer that you're on the medication.
Oh, wow.
So that's something to note as well. So bottom line, it's another option out there.
Sure.
It can be used alone, or it can also be used in addition to those stimulants that most children are on with ADHD. So that's something worth considering.
There you go. And all this information will be on your
on
blog,
my blog.
right? All right, breakfasttelevision.ca. Click on blogs, look for Leah's information, and there you go.
There you go. It's all there for you.
Thanks, Leah. Thanks for stopping by. Good to
You
see
bet.
you.